Beneath the endless shimmer of the coral sea lived a tiny purple fish named Lila. Her scales didn't just shine. They sparkled, like tiny bits of twilight caught forever beneath the waves. The coral reef around her was a bustling city of color and laughter. Golden tangs would dart through coral arches. Clownfish giggled while playing hide-and-seek in soft anemones, and parrotfish chatted away, nibbling on coral. But Lila was always on the outside looking in. Her deep violet hue was completely unique, a color no other fish on the reef shared. She tried so hard to join their games, to be part of the fun, but whispers always trailed behind her like a shadow. "She's too strange," they'd murmur. Purple isn't a reef color. The words stung, and so she learned to find comfort in solitude. Her days were quiet, spent drifting near the sandy seabed, watching the sunlight create dancing patterns on the ocean floor. She dreamed that maybe, just maybe, someday someone would swim beside her, not behind her. One afternoon, a darkness fell over the reef. Heavy clouds gathered above, and the once bright water turned a menacing gray. The gentle currents that used to rock the seaweed like a lullaby grew wild and angry, tossing shells and tearing plants from the rocks. A terrible storm had arrived. Waves crashed down with such force that even the strongest, bravest fish fled for cover. Lila, small and trembling, squeezed herself into a tiny crack between two corals, her heart pounding as the sea roared and raged around her. Then, through the chaos, she heard it. Faint, desperate cries carried on the current. Tiny voices calling for help. It was the baby fish from the seaweed forest. They were trapped in the swirling sand, disoriented and terrified, completely unable to find their way home. For a long moment, fear held Lila frozen. She was so small, so fragile. What could she possibly do against such a powerful storm? But then, a powerful memory surfaced, the sharp sting of her own loneliness. She remembered every moment she had felt alone, and she couldn't bear the thought of anyone else, especially these little ones, feeling that same despair. With a deep breath that filled her with courage, Lila swam out from her hiding spot, straight into the heart of the storm. The ocean was a wild, dark mess, filled with churning debris and frightening shadows. But as she swam, something incredible happened. Her purple scales began to glow, cutting through the murky water like a brilliant lantern in the deep. "Follow me," she called to the lost baby fish, her voice gentle but firm, a beacon of hope in the darkness. One by one, their tiny shapes emerged from the swirling gloom, drawn to her steady light. They formed a little line behind her, a chain of hope following her shimmering trail. Lila led them through the most dangerous parts of the reef, navigating treacherous currents, guiding them over sharp coral, and dodging falling rocks. The powerful waves tried to push her back, to extinguish her light, but she just pushed forward, her glow seeming to shine even brighter with every determined flick of her tail. Finally, she spotted it, a small sheltered cave hidden behind a coral ridge. It was the perfect sanctuary, a safe place where the little ones could finally rest. She guided them inside, and then did something even braver. She stayed at the entrance, using her own small body as a shield to protect them from the storm that continued to rage outside. Hours felt like an eternity before the sea finally began to calm, and the first hopeful rays of sunlight pierced through the water's surface, painting the reef in gold once more. When Lila finally turned around, exhausted but safe, she saw all the baby fish peeking out from the cave, their tiny faces glowing with pure gratitude. Soon, the rest of the reef's inhabitants gathered around fish of every color, shape, and size. They stared at Lila, their eyes wide not with judgment, but with sheer amazement. "She saved them," whispered a yellow tang, his voice full of awe. "Her purple light, it showed them the way." For the very first time, no one laughed at her color. No one whispered that she was strange. Instead, they admired it. They saw her purple glow for what it truly was, a light that had protected them all through the darkest of storms. From that day on, Lila was never alone again. She swam among friends who finally saw her for the hero she was: brave, kind, and wonderfully special. And the reef, once just a place of bright colors and loud noises, now had something new. A gentle, beautiful purple light that served as a constant reminder that being different isn't something to hide. It's a gift, a special power that can light up even the darkest ocean. Thank you so much for joining us for this story. If you enjoyed spending time with Lila, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more adventures. We'll see you next time.